Everyone, welcome back to another video. I am a little bit pooped today. It's 4:45 in the afternoon. I just spent the day doing two complete details on two new customers, but they were both decent sized SUVs, black. One was a Porsche Cayenne GTS. The other one was a BMW X5, both black on black. So, and it's a warm day here in San Diego. But anyways, I wanted to make sure I get this video filmed for you guys. What I'm gonna be reviewing today is the other electric pressure washer that you can get at Costco. This is the Greenworks pressure washer. So it's right over here. I'm gonna go ahead and unbox it for you. We'll test the actual usable PSI and GPM and let you guys know if it's a good buy or not. It's Costco, so it's typically a good buy because even if you don't like it, you can return it pretty quick and easily. So let's get this thing open. All right, really quickly guys, if you wanna see the other electric pressure washer that you can get at Costco, it's the Husqvarna pressure washer. I did a full review on that one as well. I'll link it right up here for you guys. Alrighty guys, so here it is. This is the Greenworks 2000 PSI 1.2 GPM. Correct, 14 amp motor. It says Greenworks Elite on the box. So yeah, let's get this thing unboxed. All right, so first things first guys, some packaging. First things first, you got your gun sitting right on top. This is going to be a basic gun with the metal wand extension, twists on, pretty standard stuff. Let's see here, we got a little locking mechanism here so you cannot pull the trigger, put it back up, and you can't pull the trigger. Very simple, very easy, usual normal stuff. Once again guys, in all my review videos, I do not use the factory gun or the factory hose. I will review them and kind of let you know what my thoughts on them are. This one does actually feel pretty solid. Here's the metal wand extension, standard quick connect on the outside of it. Yeah, very normal, nothing special here. But anyways, I do review all my pressure washers using an aftermarket hose and gun. The reason I do that is because the hoses that typically come with these pressure washers aren't very good. They kink and they're really short, like usually 20-25 feet. So the aftermarket hose that I use is 50 feet long. It's super pliable, does not kink. It's amazing. Let me grab it for you guys really quickly. All right, so here it is. This is the hose that I like to use. This is the Uberflex hose by ProPulse, and it's just an amazing hose. You can see it doesn't kink. It does a really great job. It's really pliable. It's just amazing. And here's the gun I like to use. This one I'll link below. I will link a cheaper option as well. But as far as this type of a gun goes, with a swivel built in, this thing is an incredible value. I'll link it down below. It is on Amazon. I don't know, it's probably close to half the price of some of the other name brand ones, and this thing works great. It's got a quick connect right at the end, so can't go wrong with that. But that's the hose, guys. Let me go ahead and pull out the hose here. Oh, interesting. Wow. Let's see here. Wow, guys, amazing. This Greenworks comes with an Uberflex hose. Unreal. I'm shocked by that. I'm really impressed that Greenworks did that. This is an amazing hose. Again, it does look like it's gonna be short. Obviously, 50 feet is what I like. Working around a car, working around the house, otherwise you're moving the unit a lot. But at least they give you a good hose. That's really cool. So I don't know, the diameter is definitely smaller. Let me see if I can get this into focus for you. Diameter is smaller, and length is much smaller. I don't know if it says it on here. It definitely does say Uberflex by ProPulse, so we're good there. 5 meters maybe? Is that what it says? 5 mm? If that's the case, that's super short, so you're definitely gonna want to replace that. But man, I'm so pumped that they actually gave you a good hose. So guys, I still recommend getting the aftermarket hose because you're getting the length out of it and it's much better. But this'll do, you know, this'll get you by. So with that said, I'm assuming a lot of pressure washers, it varies between an M22 15 size fitting and an M22 14 size fitting. And if it is a 15, you have to get an adapter. you don't have to pay attention to any of that, because since this comes with an Uberflex hose, this should plug straight into this unit without any issue. All right, guys, I don't know if you can see it laying out right here behind me next to the tape measure, but confirm it is 25 feet. So that's great. You can actually, what I'll do instead, I'll link the 50 footer down below, but I'm also going to link the 25 footer also, because it is cheaper than the 50 footer, and I'm gonna link a adapter. Let me grab that. Okay, so I'm gonna link this adapter right here, and with that you can actually plug it in, get it all set on there, and then you can run another hose here. So if you need the extra length, just hook up your secondary hose and you're good to go. Yeah, very, again, so far I have no idea if the numbers on this pressure washer are any good, but so far I'm very, very impressed that they give you an Uberflex hose, because I am a huge fan of these things. All right, guys, and as one last thing, I'm also gonna link down below the Flex Zilla hose. You can get it in 50 feet as well. I think it's a little bit more expensive. Same, I don't know if it's the exact same technology, material-wise, as the Uberflex hose, but it definitely feels the same. I've tested those out. They work exactly the same. They're great. But you can get it in a bright green, which will match your Greenworks pressure washer, if that is one of your things and you like it to match. So anyways, let's get to this unboxing. So this is the little back plate piece. Comes with a 25-degree nozzle, 40-degree nozzle, soap dispensing nozzle, and a turbo nozzle that's in here somewhere. So we have the little back piece with a nice foam grip on it. This will be your handle to roll it around. We have a soap dispensing little container here, and you can hook up to the pressure washer. Now, I don't recommend these anyways, because when you fill this up, it carries the soap or detergent or whatever you're using all the way through the hose. And then when you want to switch over to just water, you're gonna have leftover residual whatever chemical it is that was in there. So I don't like doing that. I much prefer to use a foam cannon instead, that actually goes right at the end of the gun, so you're not contaminating your hose. It's much better. I'll link one of the foam cannons down below. I also have a couple videos on them, so I'll link them up top here. All right, guys, so here's the unit itself. Couple of wheels. These wheels are not air-filled, but they're hard plastic, but they do have a little bit of give back here. I don't know if that's, anyway, it might be like a honeycomb construction inside of it, but they're pretty hard. So not as good as the DeWalt wheels on that pressure washer that I reviewed. Again, I'll link it up top. However, these do seem pretty good, so we'll see how they actually go on, if they're pins or if it's an actual screw. Last but not least, I don't know what that does. Then we have pins for the wheels, some screws to attach stuff on, and the turbo nozzle. And then we have your instruction card, warranty stuff, whatever else. So let's get that out of the way, and let's assemble this thing. So typically assembly is very, very simple and straightforward with these machines. I'm gonna first take the handle and pop that in place. It's just 2 little push pins. I'm gonna make sure you put those in, and those should be facing backwards. Done, okay. Next, let's go ahead and open up the pouch. We'll go ahead and get the pins out for the wheels and get those guys on so it levels this thing out so it doesn't fall over on me. All right, guys, so this little sleeve looking piece is actually a little spacer that goes between the wheel and the frame to give it a little more room. So what we'll do is we'll insert the pin into the wheel. Oops. Pin into the wheel. Then put the spacer on. Then put the pin through the frame. Then put the washer on. And then use the cotter pin, the little pin here, to keep it all safe or all secure. There we go, there's one. And you can see it's a little shaky, but it should do the job. Let's go ahead and get this other one going. Pin in, spacer, washer, and pin. All right, that part is done. Get that out of the way. Next, let's go ahead and throw on the backing piece. You can see the holes for it right here, line up with these little inserts for it, so you can actually pop it into place and then worry about doing the screws. So it'll hold there. And then before we do that, before we do anything with the screws, it looks like, actually, we're good. We can do that after the fact. Let me grab a screwdriver. All right, so they are all basic Phillips head screws. Let's see here, there should be 4 the same. I don't know if there's 2 that are different, and there's 2 with a tighter thread than the others. So you'll see it when you guys open it up that there's definitely 2 that are different than the others. Those 2 will be used to put on the gun holder, and these 4 are for this piece here. So I'm just gonna get them set and then I'll go ahead and screw them in. Then we'll go ahead and take the, this is a holder, so you can just mount it here, and then your wand will just fit in right there. Let's go ahead and start these guys. And the last thing in the bag is the turbo nozzle, so we'll go ahead and pop that up here where it's supposed to go. So now it looks like this piece down here is for the 35-foot power cord. And then we will have this little piece here that just snaps into place, it looks like to me from here. All right guys, so this is the only confusing part, is trying to figure this part out, and it does show it in the instructions, but it's still a little bit confusing. So what I think is that there's 2 little holes right here on the top by the nozzles. So I think what we need to do is get those into there. Okay, and then this part should snap into this little fixture here, I think. Just gotta get it around it. Okay. And there it is. So yeah, does the job. Let's see here, let me get this 25-foot hose. Wind it back up. All right, and there you go. So that fits there. Let me see if the 50-footer fits, because that's what I'm gonna be using. Alright guys, and here's the 50-footer. And the gun would sit over here anyways. And it works. That actually works super, super well with the 50-foot hose and the aftermarket gun. I like it, actually. That works. I'm pleasantly surprised. Okay, let's get this out of the way. And the last thing we need to put on this guy is the soap dispenser, and I'm not actually gonna put it on because I'm not gonna be using it at all, but I want to show you guys where it goes, because as of right now, I have no idea either. And it looks like it actually just, super simple. Let me pan you guys down so you can see a little better. Maybe zoom you in, if I can. All right, so right on the front of the machine, you have these 2 pins sitting out. And as you can see, it's just a little pin, and you pop it down and it should hold in place. So we'll go ahead and do that. One there, oops. One there, push it down. That holds it in place. And then right on the side here, it looks like this will be your inlet to connect the hose to. So you just want to make sure you're out of the way of where your hose inlet and outlets, and would just be like that. So there you go, guys. That's your assembly, super easy. One other thing, just in case you haven't seen any of my other videos, just to attach the wand to the gun itself. Okay, so now if you can see, take this, push it down until you can feel it snug. Good. Go ahead and tighten this guy down. And that's it, you're all set. All right guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and hook up the 50-foot hose because it doesn't change the performance of it at all. I'm gonna hook that up and we'll hook up the pressure gauge and then we'll test the GPM. Again, I'm only gonna do it with one nozzle because they look like they have the same orifice size. And then, yeah, we'll be off to the races. We'll know exactly what this thing gets, what the actual usable pressure and GPM is. And then, like some other videos, I'm gonna go ahead and hook up a 3.5 millimeter orifice nozzle just to see if we can, how high we can get the GPM and what the PSI, what the pressure is like at that GPM. So, here we go. All right guys, one thing to note is the handle on this is a little bit low. I guess it's okay. I'm 6'2", but as you can see, let me scroll you down real quick. As you can see, my hand goes right to it. So when you're actually trying to walk with it, I feel myself kind of hunched over a little bit, but again, I'm 6'2", so it may not be an issue for you. All right guys, so I've got my water source hooked up now. I'm about to plug the machine in. Just one note, it does have the ground fault circuit in line, which is nice as opposed to some of the other units have it as the actual plug, which means it's big and it's so if you're going into a kind of a tighter outlet, obviously just this little two-pronger is a lot easier to fit in. So keep that in mind, it's kind of a nice feature. All right guys, so here's my pressure gauge. I'm going to go ahead and hook it in line right here where the hose and the gun connect. So we're going to do that. There we go. Make sure everything's tight. Okay, we are good to go. I'm going to go ahead and use the 40-degree nozzle. Actually, I'll check both just to make sure they're running the same PSI. If they're running the same PSI, out of the hoses or out of the nozzles that came with the unit, then we know that they're going to be doing the same GPM. So I'm just going to check them both real quick. No leaks. Total stop system, it goes completely quiet once we're up to pressure. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger for a little bit and let it, let any air bubbles get out of the hose. All right guys, so let's go ahead and hook up the 25-degree nozzle. And I'm assuming these have a pretty small orifice size, similar to that of Ryobi, but we'll see. Okay, so as you can see here, let me see if I can focus that for you. (1800 PSI). Switch over to the 40-degree nozzle. And I'm assuming this is going to get the same exact thing because it looks like the same orifice size. We are not getting the same thing. We are getting 1500 PSI with the 40-degree nozzle, so I will check that GPM opposed to the 25 and see what we're getting. Really quickly, I'm gonna go grab a 3.5 millimeter nozzle and we could test that and see what PSI we get. All right guys, so here is the 3.5 millimeter nozzle, and basically what that is the little hole that's inside where the water passes through is larger than what comes with the unit. So if you do want these, I will link them down below in the description for you. Let's go ahead and check the PSI with it. All right, so we're getting 850 PSI with this guy. Still usable for car detailing. Yeah, still plenty of power as long as the GPM is high enough. So we'll test that. All right, guys, that is it for PSI. We got 1800, 1500, and then with the 3.5, it dropped it all the way down to 850. So you may want to try a 3.0 nozzle or whatever else. I'm just trying to, this is the biggest I have, so I'm trying to get the max GPM and see what we can do with that. But again, these will be linked down below. Let's go check the GPM. All right, so as always, I have my trusty little measuring bucket here. And what I do is I just put the top on, got a little cutout for the nozzle of the gun. We'll stick that in there, run it for 1 minute, check and see how much water we have, and we will know what the GPM is. So I'm gonna start off with that 25-degree nozzle that the unit comes with. All right. Oops. All right, guys, so we are at 4.5 liters. And there we go. I'm sorry, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it says 1.189 GPM. So that 1.2 GPM factor that they're listing it as is pretty spot on. As you can see, this isn't completely scientific, but you know, gives us a good idea. So they're pretty accurate at that. We're gonna go ahead and throw on the 40-degree nozzle now that it comes with. All right, so that definitely increased us. We are now at 5 liters of water. Oh, wow, that's a much better increase. 1.32 GPM. I don't know if you can see that again. I apologize with the glare, but 1.32 GPM. So that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this. So far, so good. We're gonna go ahead and throw on that 3.5 nozzle and see what GPM we get with that. All right, we are at, let me let that settle a little bit for a second. We're just under 6 liters, basically. Yeah, between 5.5 and 6 liters. So I'm gonna, let's see here. We're gonna kind of do a little estimation here. At 6 liters, you'd be at 1.585 GPM. And at 5.5 liters, we at 1.45. So yeah, we're sitting at basically exactly 1.5 GPM, operating at about 850 to 900 PSI. So that's okay for car detailing. When you're using that on your car, I would definitely recommend getting this nozzle. Otherwise, these other nozzles provide great workflow for around the house. All right, guys, so that's it. That's your review on the Greenworks 2000 PSI, 1.2 GPM, available at Costco. My final thoughts on it, it's a good machine. I really, really like that it comes with an Uberflex hose. I don't like that it's a shorter hose, only 25 feet, but it'll get you by. And like I said, I'll link either an extension or the full 50-foot hose down below. I'll also link the 3.5 millimeter orifice nozzles below, so you can use that when you're using it to wash your cars. For around the house, it's great. The wheels are a little bit wobbly, but they get the job done. One other thing I would recommend, don't use that soap dispensing container that it has. Get a foam cannon. Again, that'll be linked down below for you as well. So it's very similar to a Ryobi unit, to the Ryobi's 2000 PSI unit that I did a review on. I do like the housing of the Ryobi unit a little bit better. It's just different. There's so many pressure washers that come in this sort of a frame, and I like the telescoping handle on the Ryobi unit. Very similar in price as well. I think that one's typically $199, but I think it's on sale for $150 right now, which is exactly what this is on sale at Costco. Home Depot's return policy is also super easy. The only thing that this thing does beat the Ryobi on is that it comes with an Uberflex hose. But again, it's only 25 feet, so I still recommend getting the bigger one, so you guys decide. Anyways, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks again.